Hello and welcome back to the Peculiar Place podcast. I'm here once again with my sister, Mandii Vee.
Hello.
This is our segment, Two Vees in a Pod, and our second episode, which I'm so excited about. And we want to say thank you so much for all the love you gave us on our first episode. You guys were so sweet and kind. I've read all of your messages, and I'm glad that you're excited for us.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's just going to get better and better, I think.
Yes,
as we go.
We are now available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, really anywhere that you can get your podcasts, we are available on, and of course YouTube if you're watching us here as well. So before we get started, we just want to cover a couple things from last week. Firstly, rest in peace, Moot. We should have said this last week, and I was reading all your comments saying that you miss Moot. Why is he gone? Why have we replaced him? And I think Moot just had a time and a season. You know what I mean? Like, I started him almost 10 years ago. He was a character that I played. It was a lot of fun. He had his own channel. He was crazy. And I just think that, you know, it was time to move on to different things. Not saying that he's gone forever. Just for now, you know?
Okay.
The Moot season is over just for now, but he might be back.
You never know.
We're not going to close the door forever on Moot, but rest in peace. We pay our respects to Moot. I appreciate all the love that you guys gave him, but he's gone for now. And here's the thing. We didn't want to, restart a whole YouTube channel. I feel like most of our audience was on the Moot channel, and so it's just easier to pick up from there. You know, rebrand it, restart it. So yeah, just wanted to cover that. Also, last week, we had a mic problem.
Yeah.
It hasn't been easy doing this podcast. We tried one time to record in the summer, and the mics weren't working at all.
Yeah.
Then the second time, which was our first episode, we recorded. Everything was fine. We were excited. Got home. I was taking a shower. Ty rushes in, and I thought the house was on fire.
Oh,
we were having a break-in or something, and he goes, "Something has happened." I thought the dog, maybe? I had no idea. He goes, "I just deleted all of Mandi's mic footage."
It was my mic footage.
I
didn't know that detail. Okay, Ty.
Yeah, so he was panicking. He was on the floor with his hands on his head, what do I do? What do I do? I'm like, Mandii will understand. Let's listen to the camera audio. Maybe we can pick it up from mine. So we had to use camera audio.
Accidents happen.
Yeah.
You know, accidents happen. It's nobody's fault. Of course, he didn't intend.
Yeah.
The intention. I feel like intentions matter. With people who do actions, I feel like intentions matter. And that should be, the most important thing. And also, not to mention, this was our first ever
episode.
Full, episode filmed, recorded, and everything. And, it could have been worse. Because you could still hear us from, the cameras and stuff. But I feel like it might be a little bit rocky starting out. And then after a couple months of doing it, a couple years, it's going to be amazing.
It'll be easy.
We're going to look back and be like, ooh, those first couple episodes.
I know.
They were rocky. Yeah. But it'll just get better. It's normal. It's how life works.
Exactly. But yeah, just wanted to cover those two things because I did see a few comments saying, why is the audio so bad?
No, really?
Yeah, I thought no one would really notice, but they did.
So I definitely noticed without knowing about the mic situation. I was relieved when you were like, the mics didn't work. Because I was like, oh, okay, thank God. Because if that was I would hope that the mics would give it a little bit more of a clear sound.
It should be sounding
I'm excited for this one to come out and hear a difference. Yeah.
So much better. Okay, so we're going to do a life update like we said we would do every episode. So why don't you start with a pregnancy update? How are you feeling? How are you doing?
Pregnancy update. Feeling good. Feeling a lot of kicks every day, all day.
I love that.
It used to be only when I was laying down or sitting very still. And now I'll be standing and I feel them. I'm out and I feel them. And Luca started to feel them, which is nice.
Aww.
Because he's so shook. Every time he's whoa. So that's incredible. But yeah, it's just starting to get a little uncomfortable. physically.
Yeah.
So sleeping is like hard. Like I'm starting to really get into like that pregnancy insomnia where I'm like waking up multiple times throughout the night and I'm literally exhausted, but like I can't sleep. And apparently it's like a couple of people have told me that when that happens, it's like your body's like prepping you for the like constant like feedings throughout the night.
Oh,
So like
okay.
waking you up throughout the night, and it's like sort of preparing you for like what that's gonna look like and how that's gonna be.
Interesting.
Which is, yeah, you never know.
That's
but
so
people
cool.
say that.
But your body knows, you know, like your body is such a cool thing. So maybe that's true.
It's incredible. Like
Yeah.
I'm literally just sitting here living my life, and like
There's a human inside you.
my body is creating someone's brain
Yeah.
right now. Like I'm literally
And heart and lungs and every other part. I mean, that's insane.
like literally anytime Luke and I would get into a little argument or a spat, I'd be like, I'm literally busy creating a leg right now. Like,
You are
leave me
two
alone.
humans right now.
I'm like, sorry, I'm busy, like, just, you know, making an ear over here.
Yeah. That must be exhausting.
Literally, like, that's all it is. It's just, like, so much energy
Yeah.
goes to that. So it's just, like, exhausting, but it's so beautiful and it's amazing. And we're coming towards the third trimester. So,
How many more weeks away?
yeah, October, next month, it will be my third trimester.
Gosh.
Yeah,
It's
countdown
so
is on.
soon.
And one other thing that's kind of like nerve-wracking is that I've met so many people throughout this process, like clients and like friends that have had babies, that so many of them, like their first baby has come at 36 weeks. And like the common thing is that like people who are pregnant their first babies are late. And
Yeah.
a lot of the time they have to be like induced into labor. But I know so many people that for whatever reason, 36 weeks, not 37, not 39, 36. And you know what? Like that's literally before Christmas.
Oh my
For me?
gosh. You might
Like
have a
I'm not
Christmas
gonna say
baby.
dates or anything what I'm due, but like if that were to happen to me, it would be before Christmas. Can you imagine?
Wow.
That's like really
But
soon.
that's kind of exciting. Someone will have like a new baby for Christmas.
Oh, I'm hoping that it's after the holidays, but you
Aw.
know what? Anything, it's fine. It's just an interesting thing to think about. You just never know
Yeah.
when she's gonna come.
She'll decide.
Yeah.
Excited either way, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so with me, I went back to the oral surgeon. And there's so much drama with this oral surgeon. Just so much drama.
Is that when you were telling me you were at the dentist?
Yes.
Okay.
So he asked me to come back because when I saw him 3 weeks ago, I was having severe jaw pain. He took an x-ray of my mouth and he was worried that the tooth that's left over is causing issues in my jaw because I had a coronectomy, which means the bottom quarter, like the last quarter of the tooth, is left in. That way they don't have to mess with the nerve. It's less, there won't be any issues with like face paralysis and stuff, you know, because I'm 30. They leave that very bottom of the
This
tooth.
is a wisdom tooth?
Yes.
I've never heard this.
It's a new thing, I think.
I've
I don't
never
know.
heard this.
Coronectomy.
So it's just a little tiny little baby tooth.
It's just the very bottom, like, you know
The
how it kind
base.
of like comes into two like
Yeah,
pieces?
yeah.
Those two pieces are kind of left inside. Which
Okay.
I it's this side's fine. It's my right that's bothering me.
And that's the side that has that weird tooth.
Yes. And so
Okay.
my jaw pain has been getting worse and worse. I cannot eat. I cannot chew without it hurting. So when I saw him 3
no.
weeks ago, he's like, come back in 3 weeks, make an appointment, we'll check on it again. So I was like, okay. In these past 3 weeks, it's been growing worse. Went in to see him. He walks in the room. Why are you here again? I was like, you asked me to make an appointment, and my jaw pain is worse. Tell me how he doesn't even look in my mouth, doesn't do any investigation, and goes, some people heal slower. You just gotta be
And
patient.
he asked you to come back.
He asked me to come back. But I also want to know what's going on because I'm getting more pain every day. And I'm like, so it's normal to still 2 months later be feeling this pain? Well, not necessarily normal, but some people heal slower. And I was like, well, is there next steps? Like, how do we keep an eye on this? I don't want to have this pain forever.
Yeah.
Well, see what happens in 2 weeks. I'm about to leave and he goes, you know, no one ever thanks me for taking out their wisdom teeth. Swear to God. What does he expect me to say to that?
This is like unacceptable.
Yeah, so I made an appointment with my like regular dentist and I'm going in next Tuesday. And I did give them like a recap of what he's been doing. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Somebody needs to be aware of this. Like, this is unacceptable. Like, truly, the treatment you're getting is unacceptable.
The thing is, like, it's an older man. He looks like he's in his late 70s. And, like, okay, great. Older people can still work.
He's ready to retire.
But that's the thing. I think he's like,
over it.
Stressed. He's over it. He's like, I've been doing this for freaking 60 years. Like, I'm done. Like, he rushes. He's annoyed.
It's not okay. Because, like, if that's the case, then you should no longer be working. If you don't take the care and the patience and, you know, the time to put into your clients or your patients or whatever, that's, like, so unfair to them.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know.
And you know what else he said? He was like, well, I didn't do that to you. Like, I didn't cause the jaw pain.
Gosh.
And I'm thinking, dude, you did the surgery. And I wasn't even personally blaming him. I'm just trying to figure out what's our next steps. How do we figure out this jaw pain? How do we fix it? And he's like, well, I did all the right protocol. So it wasn't me. Okay, well, obviously this is from the surgery, dude.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You didn't have it before.
Exactly. He's like, I've been doing this for 50 years, so it wasn't me. Okay, well, tell me who it was then.
Well, you know what? If that's the response that you're getting and nobody's going to be held accountable, then you should be getting a second opinion.
That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm going to my dentist, and then maybe they'll refer me somewhere else.
Go somewhere else and have them look at the job.
Yeah.
And see what they say.
Yeah.
So unacceptable.
Anyways, I have a second crazy story, and it takes me back to college, but I'll tell you why it applies to this week in a second. So I had a scamming issue. So back when I had just finished college, I was in college for graphic design. It was my first summer out of school. I really wanted a job. I went on one of those, like, Indeed, like, you know those, like, job searching, like, websites?
Yeah.
So I found this one guy who was hiring graphic designers. He had a website. He had a phone number. Everything seemed so legit. He was looking for a summertime graphic designer. I had a phone call with him. Everything seemed great. Didn't meet him in person because it was all, like, you know, freelance, work from home type thing, right? But he seemed trustworthy, and he was like, I will pay you out at the end of each month. And I was like, okay, like, it's better to be paid per job, honestly, but it was my first thing ever, and I was like, okay, end of the month is fine. Throughout the month, he gave me a job to create a pizza box design, a pizza menu, a logo for a insurance company, like, all kinds of stuff. He was giving me multiple a week. I was working my ass off. It was my first job, so I was like, morning, noon, night, I'm going to work on this, make it amazing.
Mm-hmm.
End of the month comes around, and I was like, hey, so, like, just wondering about payment. Like, let me know when you're sending it over. He goes, okay, I'm a little bit late on that. Don't worry, it's coming soon. Can you do one more job for me? So I was like, okay. Week 5 comes around. Hey, like, where's that payment? You know, like, just wondering. Doesn't answer me. A couple days go by. Hey, like, I'm trying to call him, text him, email him. Like, oh, that payment, like, when's it coming in? Nothing. Never heard from the guy. Totally disappeared. So about a month after, I was so upset. I was crying. I was upset because, like, it was a lot of work. And I really hoped for the money right after college, right?
Of course.
So I did something, and you have to tell me if this is, like, unhinged or not.
Okay.
The guy used his real name, which is stupid if you're scamming people. Obviously, what he was doing was he created a website. He's hiring real graphic designers, but he's pretending to be one for these companies. So he takes their work.
Plagiarizes it?
Yeah, he just uses whatever person he hired, pretends he's the graphic designer, right? And then he's getting paid and then just, like, dashing.
You get charged for that.
Just wait.
Serious offense.
So he used his real name. He used his real pictures on his website. Idiot. Like, if you're going to do this,
I'm glad
like,
he
don't.
did that.
Yeah. I went onto Facebook. I found his wife.
Whoa. I found his kids. I found his house.
He doesn't have kids, but I found his sister. I found his best friends because I went through his posts. I'm like, who is he tagging recently? I messaged them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I told, like, it was respectful. It wasn't like, hey, like, blah, blah, blah. It was like, just wanted to, like, figure out what's going on. Like, he hired me this summer and I haven't heard from him. He took all my work. I haven't been paid. Like, I just gave them the whole spiel.
Yeah.
Now, the issue when you're not friends with someone on Facebook, it goes into, like, a requests folder, and no one sees it. Mm-hmm. So no one saw it. And I was so upset. I'm like, oh, I really wanted them to see this. because maybe they had no idea what he was doing. Anyway, 3 years go by. Finally, I get a message from one of his best friends. But this is 3 years later, okay?
Yeah,
I've started YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm like done. I'm not even doing graphic design. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
even thinking about it. And he goes, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I just saw this. Like, I hate how Facebook hides these messages. That guy was the worst friend. I went to elementary school and high school with him, and he was horrible. He was an asshole. He always took things from us, whatever. Like, totally sympathized with me. Said he was so sorry. Whatever. And he's like, what can I do to like help? And I'm like, dude, like it's 3 years later, like don't worry about it, like it's fine, I just wanted you to know. Anyway, I think it was this week, I was scrolling through like news articles.
Oh my gosh.
This one news article comes up and it's like known Toronto scammer goes missing. I see the name and I see the photo and I'm like, no. So I click on it, it's the guy. So his name's on there, his photo's on there, and it's like, known Toronto scammer from Toronto and Vancouver, went missing, his family's concerned for him, can't find him, asking anyone to help. Apparently he stole a bunch of stuff and then, like, went missing.
Oh my gosh.
And his family's looking for him. So that was this week, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's still doing this. Like, still. So it just brought back all that stuff. I don't know if you ever knew that about that summer.
I think I remember when it happened. I remember hearing this, but I didn't know any of the follow-ups.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't, or maybe I forgot that you messaged all of the people.
Do you think that's unhinged?
No.
No? Because I told Tiny, he's like, maybe ask your sister, because I don't know.
No. Maybe you're asking the wrong person, though, because I myself am unhinged. So, but I just feel like you could have,
Called the police.
cops. I mean, you could have.
I asked Dad that, and he's like, yeah, but, like, there's no contract involved. There's no, like, you know what I mean? I didn't do it properly.
Okay. I actually, when you were speaking, I was going to ask that question, and then I forgot about, did you sign a contract?
No, there was
or were
no
there
legal,
any contracts?
No.
So, yeah, he's right then.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
But I think he uses students because of
Yeah.
that, because we don't know what we're doing.
Of course.
We're just starting in the work world.
That's so scummy.
Yeah.
So scummy.
So, anyway.
But very interesting. And the
Yeah.
fact that this is like a news thing now and like it's like known scammer.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
He's known for
People
scamming
know
people.
that he's been doing this. Yeah, he has like a criminal record. It's like a whole thing.
Wow.
So
Wow. How do you feel about this?
I was just shocked when I heard about it. I hope he's okay. Like, I hope it's not something bad. Like, I hope no one came after him because they were upset. You know what I mean? He's working with a lot of big companies, and maybe they found out.
That's what happens when you play the game.
Or he ran off and wants to start a new life. I don't know. We'll pray for him to change. I hope he grows and gets better from this.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so now that we've done our life updates, unless you have something else. Oh, so I think you and I both recently, in different situations, are realizing there's seasons of friendships in our life. So do you want to expand on that? Because I feel like when you and I talk, you have some really good insight on what that means to you. And it applies to my life as well.
Yeah, I feel like growing up, like as we grow and like go through seasons of life with our careers and with our, you know, marriages and our now that I'm pregnant and everything, like, you know, like it's interesting like who stays there for you and who's supportive of you and like really wants to like see you succeed.
Yeah.
And show up, you know? And then there are people that sort of just like drift to the side, or like maybe they're not showing up the way they used to, or maybe they aren't as happy to see you succeed, or, you know, things like that. I feel like sometimes like people grow and change. And I've noticed this a lot recently, having gone through a wedding and having gone through like going through being pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you have like come up from such a, you know, you've built your business and you've built your brand and career, and that's a huge thing for you. And it's interesting to see like who is showing up and who isn't.
Yeah, who sticks around
and supports you. And I like vice versa. And I feel like if you really want to know who your friends are, like get married, have a baby, build yourself a career, see who shows up, because it's just interesting. I feel like now everyone, the way that I see it is like you have your inner circle, and then you have your outer circle, and then you have outside the circle.
Yeah.
And like your inner circle is the people that you trust with your life.
Yeah.
The people that would never steer you wrong, that have like really good intentions.
Your
and
sisters.
Like, exactly. That's what I mean. Like this could be this could be romantic relationship. This could be friendship. This could be family. And it's like people who you literally trust with your life. Like you value their opinion and their advice and everything, and they show up for you, and you know, they're beautiful blossoming relationship that you see like lifelong friends with them. And then you have like your outer circle, which is like surface level friends, surface level family, show up here and there, a little distant, you definitely wouldn't trust with your life.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then there's the outside circle, and I feel like as you grow, the people sort of change within those circles. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And it's like really sad and like heartbreaking and difficult to go through. But what I've learned is that when people show you who they are, believe them.
Right.
And like even though you like wanted to be different, or you saw something different in them before, or you have this history with them and you love them and you adore them and you feel like you've put so much effort into the relationship and you wouldn't have done what they did or whatever, like people change and
they will show their true colors eventually.
Yeah.
I mean, we've known a lot of people, even like YouTube friends we've had, right? Like over time, like you think it's a genuine relationship, you care, they're like family, friends, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I guess it wasn't like that for you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like sometimes your experience and like the way you view something is so different from like maybe the way they view it.
Yeah, people have different intentions. And maybe they're not
crazy.
Even trying to
crazy.
Make it like that. It's just the whole time their mindset was completely opposite than you. And you're like, oh, I thought we were aligned. Yeah.
Yeah, you're shook. And it's kind of like, oh, like I definitely, and that's why communication I feel like is also really important.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys. If you want to have a close relationship with a friend or a family member or whatever, communicate. If you feel wronged, if you feel hurt, if you feel some type of way, and you go and you confront your friend, obviously, like if you love that person, you're confronting them with love
and respect.
Yeah. And like wanting to like fix the situation and being open to like hearing their side as well. And I just feel like if that person really loves and cares about you, they will receive it, they'll hear it, they'll like validate it, and then they'll like whatever, say whatever they were feeling or whatever, and then you are open to it and you fix the problem instead of getting defensive, instead of getting angry, because there's love there. There should not be a bad intention, you know? And if that person is like angry that you're hurt, or I'm sorry that you feel that way, you know, like that kind of thing, instead of like taking ownership.
There's 3 options. It's either a productive conversation,
right?
It's negative and not going anywhere, or they dash and ghost you.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. No, and that's so true. That's why I'm saying like communication is important, because when you do this, you see who your real friends are.
And be prepared that it might not be the outcome that you hoped for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It could always go very, very wrong and you lose a friend.
Yeah.
But you should never regret like having those hard conversations or being honest and telling the truth about how you feel about something, because if that person's not your real friend, you don't want them in your life.
Exactly.
Anyway. And also, this is not to say that another person could be a bad person or wrong or whatever for like agreeing to disagree and walking away, or like leaving the friendship or distancing themselves. Like that chapter of your life with them in it is over, and it's time to move on. And you can like love them from afar and hope the best for them and wish them well in life. But there's a season for everyone and everything in your life. And like some people come and go, and some people stay for the long haul, and some people go for a while and then come back, you know?
Yeah.
It's just making sure that you put energy into the people in your life that really, really deserve it. Really deserve that energy and that time.
Yeah.
you know, and not putting energy into like negative, toxic friendships.
Exactly. And we're at peace with this realization. Okay, so now that we've done our life updates, we want to talk about some pop culture updates. And to start with, what the hell is happening with Doja Cat? What is happening, Mandii? I know you were a fan of her, so I'll let you take this one over.
I have notes.
Okay.
So I just want to say that I was a huge fan of Doja Cat.
I know.
Loved Doja Cat. She was the bomb. She was so diverse in her music, what she's able to do with like pop and rap and all of it.
And you were there from like the start-ish,
Yeah.
right?
Huge fan. But there has been a downward spiral where I've had to, and listen, to each their own. To each their own. This is my opinion and this is my decisions where I had to make the choice to unfollow her off of Twitter and Instagram and all of those things for my own, like...
sanity.
Well, I'm scared.
She's scary.
I'm scared. Like, no, seriously, on Instagram, I'm scared. And then the reason why I unfollowed her on Twitter is because she's just bashing her fans. And I just felt, she's bashing her fans. Okay, let me go into the timeline. Right. I'll be very quick.
Okay.
Before her 27th birthday, and collectively, a lot of people can agree with this.
Is this a conspiracy?
Birthday. Sure. This is okay. This is all alleged conspiracy.
Right.
There is no certainty. There is no...
in my opinion.
Yes. So it's like, but this is like the timeline that a lot of people can agree on. And you can do your own research. I've done my research.
I trust you.
But her 27th birthday, right before her 27th birthday, she was going on record saying that she no longer wants to be in the music industry. She's no longer enjoying it. She can't believe that she ever thought that that was something that she would be able to do, and it's too much and it's overwhelming, and she's out. She's not doing it anymore. And like people believed her, and she would tweet about it. She would everything.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, right. She's just a troll. Like she loves to troll. This is not true. This is whatever. But then her 27th birthday came around, and the theme of the party was questionable.
Okay.
It was very ritually.
Right.
People showed up in masks. A lot of people were saying that the theme was very, like, Illuminati.
Devil horns or no?
Eyes wide shut vibes. I don't know about devil horns. Just, like, creepy.
But that vibe.
Definitely that vibe.
Okay.
Because that night, people say they think the conspiracy is that she signed the Illuminati contract. She sold her soul. All of that.
Isn't like 27 like a thing in pop culture?
So the 27 Club is a thing where a lot of people in the music industry, for whatever reason, mysteriously passed away without any real logical explanation.
Right.
And always so mysteriously.
Like Kurt Cobain and stuff, right?
Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse, Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison. There's plenty.
Yeah.
Plenty. I could, like, literally go on. And they say, like, your 27th birthday, there's something in, like, astrology where it's, like, when you turn 27, there's something that aligns in the stars. And it's, like, the perfect night for, like, a ritual to happen.
Oh.
Which is why, like, when people turn 27, it's either, like, they, like, sign the contract or they mysteriously go missing or they pass away in a weird way that doesn't make sense.
Creepy.
Another thing that they were saying is with her, like, shaving her head and her eyebrows and everything, they were thinking that that was, like, the last, like, initiation process into the Illuminati and, like, selling her soul and all of those things, because there's something called and you can Google it if you want, it's called, like, a humiliation. It's supposed to be, like, a public humiliation stunt.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't know if I believe that one, but a lot of people are saying that that was the last thing that she had to do in order to sell her soul and all those things. I'm not saying that she's possessed, but I'm not saying that
Allegedly.
She's possessed. And then right after her 27th birthday, after that night, that's when she, like, changed drastically. She became obsessed with demonic and satanic imagery. She got all kinds of tattoos that are extremely questionable.
Her photos are terrifying.
But, like, if it was a troll, because a lot of people are like, she's trolling, she's trolling. She's getting permanent tattoos all over her body that are symbols and like very demonic satanic symbolism, and she will like post things on her Instagram stories that are like Satan says hi, blah blah blah, stuff like that, which is why I unfollowed her. And her pictures are very like morbid, creepy. Something is not right, very off. And she wasn't, I don't know, she was always kind of weird and quirky, but not like this. She like lost a ton of weight. Her like image changed. She started doing a lot of like demonic symbolism in all of her songs, all of her music videos. And now she's just outright, I'm a demon. Like literally, like her
She's not
Instagram,
a cow anymore. She's a demon.
No, she's a demon. Like her newest video, like her artwork and her like anything that she posts on her Instagram, the artwork that she comes out with, the music video she comes out with, the music, all of it. It's all plain in sight right there in front of you. And then people are so like, they just like are so numb to it. Like they don't care. They're just fans and they're like, oh yeah, like this is great, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, it's like,
it's evil.
It is so evil, guys. It is scary. Like it is horror level scary. Like literally the newest video where she's like a demon and she's crawling all over the walls and like scaring somebody in bed, that is a manifestation of like what she is creating as an artist. And like I feel like everyone has like, you know, their artistic freedom, but I feel like this is like so dark. And if you like believe in, you know, demons and the devil and all those things, how can you look at this and like be cool with it? And like welcome that to your space. I don't welcome that into my space. And even though like I love her and like I hope she's okay and I hope she gets out of this little phase that she's in. We wish her
the best.
I can't be a part of it.
Yeah.
And it sucks because even her new songs coming out, they are so catchy
but
and they get into my head.
You know what they say about evil and devils and stuff, like you want to be around it, you want to listen to it, it's catchy.
And like the last thing I'll say about it is that she is actively hateful towards her fans now. She has lost thousands of fans. She went on Twitter saying any of her fan accounts, delete them and get a life. Like delete, like the biggest fan accounts that she has, she literally confronted them and was like, delete your account and get a life.
That's awful because those people made you. Like, don't forget where you came from.
Exactly. And then that's why like some of her newest songs are like her addressing this.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's getting to her head, you know? And like she's realizing I don't need my fans because I signed an Illuminati contract.
So no matter what, I'm going to be famous.
I don't need no fan. Like it's scary. So that's what's up with Doja Cat.
Yeah.
And we'll, I guess, stay updated on it if anything new comes into fruition. But I don't know.
We'll pray for her too.
Definitely praying for Doja Cat that she sees the light.
Yeah.
And so that's that.
Okay, thanks for walking us through that very scary timeline.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
Next is Joe and Sophie. Their divorce. Very public.
So sad.
Very messy, very sad because I loved them. Like, I rooted for them. I rooted for you. Tyra Banks.
Is that serious?
They were so fun and funny and they just like seemed to fit each other so well.
I did not see this coming at all. But they've always been very good at like keeping their like personal life personal. Yeah. And like, yes, they like show up at cool events together. Like their Halloween costumes are iconic. Like I loved them together. I loved them together.
And can we just make this clear? I'm on Sophie's side. If we have to choose a side, you know, if we're going to do that, I'm on her side because she's Queen of the North.
Queen of the North.
She's my girl.
Game of Thrones. Let's go.
Yeah. And I just love her, like, outside of the marriage. Like, I just love her as a person. She's so cool. She's so badass. She's my girl. So, like, I'm sticking with her.
Totally agree.
I was never a Jonas Brothers fan, and I feel like I don't want to upset anybody because I know they have a cult following.
Oh, yeah.
And they have some good songs. Like, I used to love the Love Bug song. Like, that's a hit.
That's a hit. That is a hit.
Yeah, we were never, like, huge Jonas
Obsessed.
Brothers fans.
Obsessed.
We never really watched
Yeah.
Camp Rock, or I didn't at least. You know what I mean? Like, we were never... But Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones.
that's what we watched.
We don't play.
Yeah, but these statements coming out, I feel like she's been very mature. She came out with the joint statement with him, but she hasn't come out with, like, anything that's saying anything bad against him.
Or addressing what's coming out about her.
Yeah, but on his side, and although it's not coming out of his mouth, he's got to be talking behind the scenes to have those statements
It's
come out.
coming from his team, though.
Yeah, or people who know him or whatever.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. This is all alleged. And
Allegedly, it's coming from his team.
Right.
And, I mean,
In our opinion.
the research that I have done, it's almost like seemingly he's trying to get ahead of this.
Yeah.
And he's trying to paint Sophie in some negative light that portrays her as a bad mother, somebody who wants to party and feels like they missed out on their youth,
Yeah.
getting married early, having kids early, and that he's the one who's taking care of them full time for the most part. Meanwhile, you know, they've been making these statements, but then I've also read that, well, Sophie actually hasn't been home because she's working, like she's doing
a movie.
Filming something.
And apparently it's like the first time in like years because she's been looking after her kids. In the past 3 months, I think, she's been doing a movie.
Yeah, and like apparently like she has had some mental health issues in the past before they even got married.
Right.
And I mean, like after having 2 kids, you know, you never know, like women go through like postpartum issues and a lot of mental health issues, and like maybe like she needed more help and attention from him that he wasn't giving, but apparently he's the one who filed for divorce.
And that was made public. Like, that's a statement that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, like her official post on her Instagram was saying that it was mutual and it was amicable.
Yeah.
But then like all these other things that are coming up,
About
it's like,
her.
what?
Yeah, but if this is like Joe doing this to get ahead of the game, like it's not working in his favor. Because it's coming across disrespectful. And if he did plan this, allegedly, whatever, in our opinion, like, it's not working out. And now I think he's panicking. Because I did see a TikTok of his show. I don't know if it was over the weekend or when it was, but it was recently, the past couple days. And he said into the mic in front of all his fans, like, if you don't hear it out of my mouth, it's not true. So there's that. Take it for what you will. Maybe he's trying to say, like, I didn't say those things.
But then say that. You know?
Yeah.
Because I feel like TMZ has gone to, I was going to say Sansa. Sansa and her team.
Queen of the North.
No, Sophie and her team to address what has been said about her and the rumors that are coming out, and they don't want to say anything. They haven't said anything. They haven't addressed it.
Maturity.
No comment.
Growth. Womanhood.
Unless, because that's what I want to believe, but then there's also the other side of the conspiracy where people are saying maybe
It's true.
she's being blackmailed.
Oh.
There's something that she has done that she doesn't want to get out. That's the reason why Joe
Maybe.
filed for divorce. That's what they're saying, is that he's holding something over her head.
Yeah.
Who knows?
This is the thing. We don't know who's in the right. We're not in their marriage.
No, this
We're
is just chit chat.
Yeah, we're just talking.
This is just chit chat.
Opinions.
We love everybody. But come on, like, we all gossip. It's fine.
Exactly. That's why you're listening to this.
Exactly.
It's a podcast.
You want the tea, and we're going to serve
everyone
it.
talks.
We're going to serve it hot.
So the last one is not fun at all. Not that these ones were fun. But 8 passengers. I've only really heard about this YouTube family vlog in the past month. I have never heard of these people.
Me as well.
I've just been seeing clips all over TikTok and YouTube of what this mother has been putting her kids through. And it's very strict parenting. Definitely a word that I can't say. Starts with an A.
Mm-hmm.
Second is B.
It's traumatic.
I'm just glad that she's going to court. I'm glad she's currently in jail.
I mean, I want to talk about this, but I also, like, the short form is, like, don't have kids, you know? If you're gonna be like that, and if you're gonna, like, truly, like, she seemed like she hates her kids.
But it also seems like she thinks in her brain that the way she's parenting is right, because why else document it and put it all over YouTube. She has a cult following, clearly from people either entertained by it or who agree with her parenting styles. How do you get millions of
Psychotic.
people?
Why do you have 8 kids? Or what is it, 7? I don't know. Why do you have that many kids if you, like, literally hate them and can't stand them and, like, don't want to see them happy? Like,
but she says tough love.
Okay, so
it's like
I have seen, so this is all, like, what I have seen in her videos and, like, literally what's come out of her mouth that I've literally seen. And it's like, she will sit there and say, like, you're not entitled to food. You're not entitled to your heart beating. Like, you're not entitled to a bed. You're not entitled to a room. Anything that you have in this house that belongs to me is my property, and it belongs to me because you're living in my house. And while you're living in my house, like, everything is mine. And, like, whatever you're given is a privilege. Like food. And, like, food is the worst thing to me, in my opinion, is that there are so many videos where she'll be like, stop doing that or you'll lose the privilege of food. Or, like, she'll say, like, my kids are starving this morning, but they haven't done their chores yet, so they're not getting breakfast. And she will, like, use food as, like, I don't know, like a punishment.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, these kids are, like, 6 and 12 years old, the youngest ones. Imagine, like, waking up on a Sunday or something and, like, your mom saying you need to do all of these chores before you can have a piece of toast.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it's like working your kids. I don't know. It's like you should feed them and then get them to do their chores. I mean, I don't know. It's barbaric.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, the A word, and it's traumatic, and these kids are going to grow up with all kinds of mental health issues and, like, things that they're going to have to work through. And I mean, I've seen videos where she has taken away Christmas to the youngest ones for, in her words, showing signs of selfishness and lack of remorse. And she said, this year, we're going to give our kids the gift of, what did she say? I wrote it down.
Oh, no.
She wants to give them the gift of truth. That your actions have consequences. And she's like, and they're going to sit and they're going to watch their other siblings open their Christmas presents on Christmas morning, and Santa didn't bring them any. And they have to sit and watch, and that's their punishment.
And this was on YouTube for people to see, and no one stepped in, no police were involved, no family members were like, hey, that's kind of not normal.
That's the problem with the whole thing, is that this has been going on for a while, and nobody stepped in, nobody... How could this be filmed and put on the internet and, like, watched by many and, like, no, like, you're right, same with me. I haven't even heard of this account until now, and I am appalled when I literally see the footage and, like, the stuff that she has done.
Yeah.
I'm like, because I know, okay, I follow some, like, mommy blogs and mommy vloggers and stuff like that, who, in my opinion, do things very tastefully, and because they're public figures, they, like, show their kids here and there, but they're not the center, like, the main center of the channel and, like, exploiting their kids. I feel like that's wrong, and that kids aren't old enough to understand what it means to be a public figure or be online for everyone to see, and they can't properly consent to it. And I see a problem there.
Well, historically, there have been really big issues with family vlog channels. Like, so many have been brought down. So many people have been in trouble for things they've done. Have you seen that one clip of that mother who, I think their dog died or something, and she's, like, vlogging it, and then her kid's crying, and she's like, get in the thumbnail. Like, make sure you're crying in the thumbnail. Oh, my God.
Or she's, like, pushing them to, like, cry more for the video.
It's like they're having kids so that they can use them for
and make money
clout
off of them.
And YouTube and
it
money.
It is exploiting your kids. I don't care. It's not right. And like I said, like, it's one thing to, like, be an influencer and, like, show your kids here and there because they're a part of your life. And I think that's fine, but doing it in a very careful, protective
not
way.
Not forcing them if they're not into it. You know
no, if they express that they are not into it or interested, oh my gosh.
Or showing their worst moments, because that's the most common thing on family vlogs. It's that when their kid's crying, when they've been bullied at school, they're shoving the camera in the kid's face. Like, tell them about it. Mm-hmm. Or, like, when they're crying, the camera's right there. Like, that's not a normal upbringing. Could you imagine us
No.
going through that with our parents having a camera on us constantly?
That's the thing. This time in our life, like, this is a new thing that, like, we are going to have to see later on in life, how these young kids who have been filmed their whole life and exploited, how that's going to affect them in the
Trauma.
future.
Save the children.
Because these are kids. These are kids. They're so precious. They're so precious and vulnerable, and there are predators out there, and there are people with bad intentions, and you don't know where this footage is going. And that is the truth, and it's a hard truth to swallow because you might not think that, but that's happening, and that's the truth of it. And we have to protect our kids, and we have to listen to them when they express discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just, the type of person that this woman is, it's pure evil. I really feel that this is evil. And I hope and pray that those kids are able to grow up and have a normal life. And
I hope so too. A loving home life. They're put somewhere that is good for them. Why is the father not? What's his
Ooh.
involvement? Because why is he not in
he's
jail?
he's fully in the videos. Like,
Yeah, that's
he's
what
in
I
the
mean.
videos.
Where is he right now?
He is saying that he has no involvement in it.
Okay, come on, you're the
He's
father.
saying, like, I didn't know this was happening. I didn't know this was going on. Yes, you did.
What do you mean?
Bill or whatever your name is. I don't even know what his
know what to
name
say.
is, but I know that the mom's name's Ruby, but I don't even know the Dan, I don't know. But it's like, you know, you were there, you were in the videos. These are your kids. They're just as much as of a responsibility.
Yeah, he's like holding his hands in the air, like, I don't know. That's
Which,
almost
by the
worse.
way, like, come on. I mean, I feel like,
You know the kind of person she is. You married her, you're living with her.
but he was actively involved in a lot of the videos.
I bet.
She'd be like, okay, like, take over from here, and then he would step in and say whatever he had to say and to the kids, because, like, there was this one video in particular that I'm thinking of where she has a trash bag full of her eldest son's homework, and she was saying, if you want your homework back, you're gonna have to pay me $1 because it's a privilege and, like, whatever. And she was like, the husband, like, whatever his name was, she was like, you tell him what he has to do to, like, make up for it. And he was like, you have to do, like, a equal value chore to earn your homework back or something like that. And it's just like, and you could see the kids are like, what? She literally, and that oldest son, I feel so bad for him because, like, she took away the right to have a bedroom and a bed
I saw that one.
for like 7 months.
That's
And he slept on the floor in the living room
more than half a year.
for 7 months. And another thing that's horrible that I read was that her youngest, 6 and 12, the youngest ones, the two, if they didn't make their lunches before school, they went to school with no lunch.
I saw that too. And the school called her and she's like, too bad.
She was like, don't give them food.
Yeah.
Don't pity them. They need to learn their actions have consequences, and they need to starve to learn that they need to make their lunches. 6 and 12. Are
That's
you kidding
insane.
me?
I can't even imagine.
Are you kidding? It's barbaric.
And like with the husband thing, I've heard people say like, well, he's probably a victim too. Dude.
Okay,
Come
I hate
on.
this. I hate this. Like,
You can be both. It's his responsibility to fix it. He's
you are
the father
literally
of their kids.
you are the man of the house and
Yeah.
an adult. You are a adult
a
man.
capable adult. These kids have no, like, they're in jail basically, you know, in this house. He can do something about it.
Of course he
Even
can.
if she's being awful to him too, he sees what she's doing.
I don't think that's the case. I think that he's fully either involved or enabling it and seeing no issue with it.
This is all our opinion, by the way. Even all these things right now have to be said as alleged because she's about to go to court. So
Yeah.
we have to say that.
We're just speaking on what we have read, heard, seen.
This is all available out there in the world and we're commenting on it, but it's,
Do your own research.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. It's all over TikTok. It's all over YouTube. It's all over everything. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Evil. Pure evil.
Yeah. I'm going to pray for the kids, not for her. Is that bad? Should I not say that?
You'll pray for the scammer, but not for...
No.
I pray... You know what? I hope that she sees her wrongdoings.
I hope so too. But I hope that she's punished for it.
I don't think that she will, because the person that she seems to be is such covert narcissism.
Yeah.
Narcissist through and through. Scary. That's why I'm saying I see evil. When I see those videos, the way she talks, such evil. That's literally like...
You can see it in the eyes. It's just so obvious.
Psycho.
Yeah.
Psycho. I was watching, like, Ethan Klein's podcast on this, and, like, because he does updates with this whole 8 passengers thing, and he was literally, like... I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay.
Wait. It was on the tip of my tongue, baby brain. What did he say that was funny?
He says a lot of funny things.
What was I saying just now?
You were watching his podcast on the 8 passengers.
But what did I say that right before? Because that would have triggered
evil eyes. We hope she... I don't know.
Oh my god, I completely lost my train of thought. Okay, guys, I'm dealing with some serious baby brain. Like, serious baby brain. And, like, things will come up in my head, and then I'll start it off, and then it'll just float away.
Yeah, that's okay. We're going to move on from this segment, because I did not think we would stay on this for so long, but, like, it's a lot to talk about. There's so much to say. So we're going to move on, and I actually wanted to cover a couple things that we didn't get to last week that was to do with, like, paranormal stories. So obviously a huge switch in what we were just talking about. But I wanted to talk about, like, different, like, paranormal, maybe ghost experiences that we had as a kid. And the first thing, not that it's, like, paranormal, but I had this nightmare that it's so funny because Mandii remembers it just as well as I remember it.
Oh, yeah.
It was a nightmare that I had about this entity called the Flute Man. And I've definitely mentioned this on, like, my YouTube probably years ago. But it was this creepy thing. I woke up in the morning and I told Mandii right away. And, like, this dream was, like, vivid. And it was about this creepy man. It was, like, a tall, thin, older man who walked in our house playing the flute. And it reminded me of, like, the Pied Piper. You know how, like, he goes and he plays the flute and all these kids follow him. They're almost, like, hypnotized by his music. It's like an old fairy tale.
Yeah.
So this man walks in our house and, like, in the dream I'm having, like, I picture the front of our house. I picture, like, the staircase, like, our whole entire, like, outline of the house. He walks in, he's playing this beautiful, like, but haunting flute music. And I come out of my room and I look over the staircase at him and he's playing this flute. And, like, I don't remember exactly what happens next, but I think we had our cousins over and they were all following him. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, where are you going? And I'm trying to hide in, like, a bathroom. And he ends up going down into the basement and our cousins are following him. And it was just a really eerie dream. And I remember scaring you and you were like, stop talking about this because it was just so creepy.
And that was so long ago, too.
Oh, yeah, I was probably, like, 8 or 9. Like, I was young.
And we, like, still remember that dream.
Yeah. And I couldn't sleep for a long time after that. And I think you couldn't either because we were thinking about this creepy man coming in our house with a flute. Don't know what it meant or why I dreamt it, but did you have any, like, dreams from childhood that you can still remember vividly to this day?
I don't think as scary as you at that period of time. My, like, scary dreams sort of started more so, like, in, like, college, after college, like, and I've spoken about this so many times on my YouTube and stuff of, like, my spirit visitation dreams where I just really felt strongly that what I was dreaming about was its, like, own separate personality, like, its own being that would, like, come to me and, like, try to reach out to me in my dreams. And, like, I would feel a presence, like, when I woke up, I would feel a presence with me in the room. Like, it had not been just a dream and it was with me in the waking life too.
Yeah, that's scary. Like, Ty and I won't go to graveyards anymore, at least with, like, filming equipment and cameras and stuff, because we used to go to, like, the most haunted graveyards in Ontario.
Searching for
looking
something.
out for it, wanting to bring the vlog camera.
Yeah.
And we went to this one place, and while we were there, I just felt this awful presence, this weird vibe. I was so uncomfortable. And we didn't even finish filming. I was like, Ty, we need to go. Like, I don't feel okay here. And you know how people say that spirits don't like when you go there to not pay your respects, but instead going there for entertainment or to film or something. And even when we were leaving, I was like, Ty, we have to, like, say something, like, before we leave, like, the gate. So I turned and I'm like, I hope you all, like, rest in peace and you're doing okay. And, like, I did a whole speech and he was like, okay. And then I prayed right after because I'm like, I don't feel okay. got in the car, went home, went to sleep, had this horribly vivid dream. I was like outside of myself, and I was lying in the bed, and all around the bed were the spirits from the graveyard. And they were leaning over the bed, looking down at me like, why the hell did you do that today? And they were like upset.
Oh my
and I was so
gosh.
scared that I woke up and I was like, Ty, like I had this dream, like I don't know. I was so scared. He had this odd feeling to go out to our driveway, and all the doors of the car were open. And this was like in the morning. They were all wide open.
And nothing was stolen.
No. Everything was fine. The car wasn't taken, but all the doors were open. And we wouldn't have left it like that. And we only needed 2 doors to exit.
Didn't you say, too, when that had happened, because I remember this.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that it had been raining, like, all night? So then when you got to the car and everything had been open, it was, like, soaking, sopping wet in the car. And it was just, like, such a negative.
It was terrifying. And I will never do that ever again. Ever. And it's sad because there's so many interesting graveyards around the world that I would love to go and film, like respectfully, but I can't do it anymore.
I feel like you and I have also had like too many negative things happen around and after like doing ghost hunting stuff.
Yeah, we won't do that anymore. We used to go ghost hunting all the time at different haunted hotels and locations.
Bad things.
It's too evil.
It's not about like, okay, so we would experience scary things at those places that I will never forget, actually. I only just started being able to sleep in the dark again because of
we had real
experiences
there.
But that's not even the reason why we stopped. The reason why we stopped was because bad things, like bad luck, things in life would just happen after and like just so close to like those things. Like it just made sense that like what we're doing is bringing negativity into our lives, like our actual lives that was like affecting things. I remember
I would get brutally sick afterwards. For a year I was seeing this black figure in my room that would lean over my bed.
So scary.
And like I would call mom crying, and I was like, what do? Do I need to like go see someone? Like,
and
I
you
would
didn't
tell
even
grandma.
this is your first time talking about this too, because right? Because
I think so.
Because I remember for a while you didn't even tell me what you were seeing. I was too scared
because saying it out loud, there's something about that where it gives it more life.
Yep, you're like contributing to the energy of it. And I remember, you wouldn't say it in a video or whatever because it's so real.
Yeah,
it's too real.
I thought I'd have to see a pastor, and it wasn't that I thought I would be possessed. It was like almost like your life is possessed. You know what I mean? Like everything around you has become like the evil can't get to you personally to hurt you, but they're lingering around to scare you. You know what I mean?
Well,
and,
that's the thing. It's bringing negativity.
Yeah, we're Christians, and so I believe that like nothing can harm me, but they're around.
They can harass the world. And
they
torment.
Can harass. Yes, exactly.
They can torment and harass. And if you are surrounding yourself with stuff like this and you know, like it's sad because you don't realize, like you don't realize that this is something that can be a result of that, and your intentions are good, and you just want to get good footage, and you just want to make good content and have fun.
We were never disrespectful.
Well, but also like those ghost hunting experiences were so fun.
They were,
and we used to laugh and like have the best times, and like create like fun memories. But at the end of the day, there's something much darker looming over it.
And other reasons why we don't do it anymore.
Yes. But I remember after the very last ghost hunting thing that we did.
It felt the most
at the
evil.
Glen Erin Inn or whatever. Yeah. I remember after that. Because remember I went straight to the hospital after that because of my toe.
Your toe.
Guys, I had to get my toenail cut off.
Yeah, that's awful.
It was brutal. Straight from the hotel I went. I remember after that you approached me and you were like, I don't think we should do this anymore because bad things just keep happening.
And you were on the same page. You're like, my thoughts exactly.
I was thinking the same thing. Because if this is something that we were supposed to be doing or like God wanted us to be doing, it wouldn't be this. It wouldn't feel this heavy.
Right.
Guys, like trust your instincts. Trust your gut. You know? I don't think your gut is wrong ever.
Yeah.
If you feel like you shouldn't be doing something.
But, like, I've also come to the realization that anything left lingering here is not good.
Oh,
You
yeah.
always go and you're like, oh, there's good spirits and let's talk to the good ones. In my opinion,
I agree.
and I know you believe this too, anything left here or that haunts here, it's bad. Because anything that was good is somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. This place, Earth, everything that happens here is so negative and evil and scary and bad. And I think we can all agree that it is so challenging to be a human and live life here. And like moving on when you die or when you pass away is like a happy thing and like something to look forward to, because you are no longer trapped in this like sad, depressing world where your body like gets sick and your like brain has mental health issues and like bad things happen.
Yeah.
So many bad things in this world happen. If you're like a good person, then you're no longer here. Like literally, like, I mean, this might be controversial. This is a tea. This is tea.
Okay.
But
Tell me.
you know, when people are like, oh, like I was visited by my grandma.
It's not your grandma.
It is not your. Watch a horror movie. Like literally, watch The Conjuring. Watch a horror movie. It's not your grandma. Your grandma is in heaven,
Smiling down on you,
literally,
watching you live your life.
It doesn't mean that they are not sending signs. You know what I mean? Like if you like see a butterfly and you're like,
That
you
reminds
feel
me of
your
grandma. Of course.
Like yes, that I agree with. But if your grandma
you see
walks
your
into
grandma
your room
walking
in the
down
middle
the
of the
hallway.
night, first
That's
of all,
not grandma.
terrifying. Like Hereditary vibes. I think it's a trick because, and hear me out, like demons and the devil and all those things are master manipulators.
Tricksters.
They are tricking you. They are manipulating you. They're using the love you had for somebody and using that to manipulate you and to
Yeah.
trick you. Well, that's the thing about like demons and stuff. I don't believe that they're hiding in the scary dark basement. I think that they're plain sight, acting as love and light, pretending to be something that they're not to draw you in. Truly, like that is what I see evil.
Well, that's like mom's experience with the Ouija board after she had one of her best friends pass away back in, I don't know if it was high school or college. And she was at a party where they were using a Ouija board and she tried to speak to him. And she knew right away that something was wrong. You know, you just get a vibe.
Especially I feel like if you're a very spiritual person and you get that vibe.
Trust your
ooh,
gut. Trust your
Yeah.
instinct.
Something that is of light and love and God isn't going to make you feel.
Isn't going to talk through a Ouija board, first off.
Well, yeah, but if it's not God, then it's not. Like if it doesn't feel right, it's not God.
Yeah.
It's not love and light. It's not. If you have to like question or like you're like,
Yeah. Be careful
You
out there,
know?
guys. Like, if you know something's not right, don't do it. You know? Don't do it.
and like even though like it might bring you joy.
But that's what we just said, like, with the Doja Cat thing, right? Like, it's so catchy and you want to listen to her music and stuff. That's like
Especially
the
being a
ghost
fan.
hunting.
Like
It was fun. We had a great time. Like, we had lots of laughs. We
It's
had good
addictive.
memories. It's addictive. Like,
you want to do
wanna
it
go back.
more. You want to do it again.
But then you have to be like, but remember what happened last time?
Yeah.
You know?
Remember what keeps happening?
Yeah. That's another lesson we've learned in the past few years.
Yeah, it's a big lesson and it's a hard lesson because we love that stuff.
But even when I was a kid, and I don't know if you want to tell this story or not.
What?
I was, when
yeah.
I was negatively, so we started watching really intense horror movies probably when I was like in grade like 7, and a lot of it dealt around like possession and like demons
my
coming and
gosh,
stuff.
right?
And I was really negatively affected by it. I was having anxiety and I wasn't voicing it until one day it all brewed up inside of me and it all just came tumbling out to my poor sister. My parents were out. I don't know where they were, and I was supposed to be babysitting
We came home
Mandii.
from school. They
Yeah,
were
we were
still at
alone.
work. I remember this like it was
And
yesterday.
I went to Mandii and I basically told her that the devil was coming
Mm-hmm.
to our house, and when the phone rang, I'd be like, that's him trying to talk to us. And I completely believed it. Like, this wasn't me trying to scare you or pulling a joke. I was having
I was bawling.
problems. I was having anxiety. I was like, we have to hide. Remember we went in your room
We hid
and hid behind the bed. And I was terrified. And I was scaring you so bad. And I always feel bad when
So
I look
you know
back
what?
on it.
So I remember this like it was yesterday because I was so scared because Jess was so scared. And when you're
Yeah.
a little girl and your big sister is like, we gotta hide, the devil's coming.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
like, okay.
And then, like, the phone would ring. That's the devil calling. Yeah. And then Mom would, like, unlock the door and come into the door. And Jess would be like, the devil's here. That's the devil breaking in, blah, blah, blah. And I used to be so upset and so, like, almost, like, angry at you for doing that.
Yeah.
But now as an adult, and, like, pregnancy does a lot of, like, crazy things to you. And you, like, really, like, start to think about people and, like, who they were as a child and, like, seeing their inner child. I see everyone that I have in my life, I see their inner child, and I have sympathy and empathy for them.
I love that.
And I see you as a little girl, traumatized, and feeling the need to express it. And even though you scared the shit out of me, I see you. And yeah. I see that, and I'm so sorry.
Because it was embarrassing for a very long time.
Well, like, Mom got so mad at Jess. When Mom came home, really I ran down the stairs, and I was like, Jess says that the devil's coming. And
She's
Mom
like,
was like, what? And Jess was, like, at the top of the stairs,
I was
like,
crying. I was, like,
I was crying too.
I know, you were crying harder than I was.
And I was like, Jess is saying that the devil's here, the devil's coming, the devil's calling. And Mom was like so mad at Jess because I was horrified.
Yeah.
And that's why she was mad at you. But I know, didn't she have a separate little conversation with you later?
She pulled me aside and she was like, is this true? Like, is this real? Because we might have to go see a priest or like a pastor or something. And
Holy
I remember
water.
When she had that conversation, I started downplaying it because I was like, wait. Like, this is starting to scare me. Like, I don't want to go see a priest.
You're like I don't need to be exercised.
Yeah, like, but honestly, like, I think she thought maybe that was one of the cases, or I was being tormented by something.
I would have thought that too.
But I appreciate that she sat me down and was like, do we need to take steps? Because that has to happen sometimes. And I was kind of like, no, like, it's fine. Like, I'll be fine. Like, I'm just scared of scary movies. And she was like, okay, well, if it changes, let me know.
I have clients that have told me about family possessions. Like,
it happened.
Like, separate clients in different parts of my, like, career that have told me and opened up to me about a family member being possessed and having to get a medium or a priest or something come in. And, like, it's really, truly terrifying. I actually had one client who was possessed themselves as a child.
Oh.
And she doesn't remember any of it.
That's terrifying.
But her parents tell her about what had happened to her. And in all of the stories that I've heard from people, like, telling me about these possessions and stuff in their families, it always ends with them puking up black.
Ew.
It always ends with a purge of black. And it's weird because, like, these are all different people, different walks of life, different times in my career telling me these stories.
Similarly.
And it always ends up with this puke of black, and it's a purge, and it's gone. They're better. I don't know. It's very strange, like, the similarity. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, I feel weird that we're wrapping this up with such a dark...
But it's spooky season, guys. It's spooky season. And by the way, spooky season starts in September. I don't care.
Obviously, September 1st.
I don't care. September 1st.
Last week of August even is kind of
Okay, so August is when I start to bring out the fall scents.
Me too. Candles.
The fall vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little bit of a chill in the air here and there in August, and you're like, ooh.
Yep.
Fall's coming. And then it's September 1st, and then it's like pumpkin spice is out. Starbucks has all of their fall drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And you start seeing, like, the fall stuff coming in the grocery stores, pumpkin spice everything. The Pillsbury cookies. I just got a box of them last night.
Oh, they're so good. You know, these 4 months are so fun because it's 2 months of Halloween, 2 months of Christmas. And it's back to back.
My favorite time of year. My favorite
4
time
months
of year.
Fun. And then it's January and you're like...
But for me, it's Halloween.
And then baby. Christmas baby.
The way that she has forgotten that my birthday is in November.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like Halloween, birthday, Christmas, baby.
Girl, you have everything.
Well... Okay.
Like, I know.
No, but I get so excited about this time of year because it's like good thing after good thing after good thing. and Christmas and Halloween is just the best.
Wait, now January is not going to be so somber.
Yeah, because there's going to be a little birthday,
oh my
or a little
gosh.
baby birthday.
Ophelia.
Expect more spooky conversation, because
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
spooky season, and we've got a lot to say.
We in general.
In general, but also we have so much, so many stories, so many experiences revolving spooks.
Oh, yeah.
And, I have, because I know we need to talk about, which probably, for the sake of time.
Not today.
Not today, but, because I even have childhood, paranormal stories.
Yeah, I wrote some down.
Nana's
We talk forever. Guys, I wrote a whole page of things we wanted to cover today. Got through a quarter of it.
Yeah. But it's good, though, because it's, more
things
for next time. So exciting. I have a lot to say.
Yeah. It's so I love having a podcast with my sister. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description. If you click on it, it'll take you to all the sources where you can listen to our podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts. We have an Instagram that we're going to link down below. We post fun little clips from the podcast on there. And yeah, just thanks for listening and watching. You guys are the best, and we're excited for the next episode. Stay tuned.
So excited for the next episode.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.